love Saturdays, right? Like, who don't love Saturdays? Or Mondays or Sundays or Wednesdays? Like, who don't love every day of the week? But Saturday, that is like the most epic day. Why? Because you're with me. Like, it gets no better. Hi. Happy Saturday. I have not seen y'all in 7 entire days. 7. That's 196 hours. I have not seen you all. I hope everybody had a phenomenal week. And guess what? If you didn't, you had some trials, some tribulations, some more downs than ups. You had some hurdles that you just couldn't jump across. Don't worry about it. It's okay to be within that moment. Just don't stay in that moment because you're better than that. And you can come up out of that. Long as you don't stay there. And I know sometimes it sounds easier said than done, but we got to learn how to put our best foot forth sometimes, even when you're being tested. And honey, let me tell you, baby, this week has been so testing. Not just testing, but emotional. I've been an emotional basket case. Do you hear me? And I'm just like, wait a minute now. Come on. Bother somebody else. Do something to somebody else. Give me some grace. But here I am still standing because I can't stay in that space. That doesn't look good on me. So my hat is off to you for acknowledging what you're going through and feeling what you're feeling. Feel your feelings. They're real. Always. But come up out of that space because you're better than that space. Okay? So, we're still in Black History Month. Oh my God, can you believe 28 days have passed us this quick? It's like, where is the time going? Like, when I get up and I go to work and I be like, okay, it's 4 or 5 o'clock a.m. No problem. And then I look back again and it's just 9 o'clock. And then I look again and we're on a whole nother day. It's like, where is this time going? It was just the new year. I was just telling you all to get ready for your W-2s. So as you see, time waits on no one, not even the infamous me. It's just going to keep going. But hey, no worries. So you know how I like to kick off the show with fun facts. Yes. And because it's Black History Month. And because it's the last Saturday of February and Black History Month, I'm going to give y'all more than one fact on one person. More than one person. So, let's jump right into this fun facts. Yay! Because it's Saturday. Yay! Now, if it was just colder, do you understand? Oh, how precious that would be to me. So, we all know that it's Black History Month. And so I'm going to kick off Black History Fun Fact with Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler. She was born February 8th, 1831. And unfortunately, we lost her March 9th, 1895. Now, let me tell you what's so spectacular about her, right? She was the first African-American Black female doctor in the United States. The first African-American female doctor in the United States of America. Wow. Like, I love all this first stuff, and I love that it's so much first when it comes to females because females are not recognized like they're supposed to be. And, you know, we talk about the people who paved the way and laid the foundation, but we have other influencers that came before them that also paved the way. And I don't want to lose sight of that. So that's why I love doing the fun facts, and it's so dear to me, right? Now, besides her being the first Black female doctor in the United States, she was enrolled in the New England Female Medical College in 1860. So She was an African American female, but she was in New England studying for medicine. Wow. Now, she worked as a general practitioner with a strong emphasis on treating women and children, and also focusing on the maternal and pediatric medicines. Like, that's a lot. Like, whoa. So not only are you the first African American, but the first African American female, now you're a physician and your focus is on women and children with maternal and pediatric medicine. Like, that's so dope. That is so dope. Like, who cannot respect and love that? Oh my goodness. Now, she earned her medical degree from the New England Female Medical College in Boston in 1864 when she graduated. Now, in 1883, she published a book, and the title of her book was A Book of Medical Disclosures. You know, I'm still looking for that book. I haven't even found it on Amazon, but I would love to see what she had to say. Like, I'm so interested in that. So, within her book, it was a significant work on women and children's health, and it was aimed at mothers and nurses. I believe her and Nurse Nightingale would have got along fine. I really, truly do. So now she spent time in Richmond, Virginia after the American Civil War, where she was still caring for formerly enslaved people. So, like, this lady has a heart of gold. Like, wow. Like, my hat is off to her. Like, kudos, like, much love and respect. Like, I love and honor and respect that. Now, we're going to talk about the first Black female surgeon. Check that out. See, we don't know all it. Well, a lot of people do. I'm familiar with some of it. I'm getting more involved because I just want to know who was first at it. Because somebody had to think about it. Somebody had to sit down and be like, okay, I want to do this. Like, all of this stuff. Like, you just wait. I got a lot of fun facts for y'all, right? Like, I'm excited. So now let's talk about the first Black surgeon. Her name is Dorothy Lavina Brown. She was born January 7th, 1919, and sadly to say, she went home June 13th, 2004. So that was 22 years ago, right? Yeah, because it's 26. That was 22 years ago. So she was the first African American female surgeon in the South. What? Come on through here, doctor. The first what? Imagine if I would have had a cut on my hand. I could have went to her and she could have fixed that. What? Okay. Now, she was also the first Black female woman elected to the Tennessee General Assembly. Wow. That says something. Like, that really says something. Oh, my camera. Something's going on with my camera. Oh, come back. Okay, there I go. Yeah, because y'all got to see all this sexiness right here. Now, she was a board certified general surgeon, and she graduated from McHenry College in 1948, and she completed her residency in the General Hospital of George W. Hubbard Hospital. Now, she served as the chief surgeon on the Nashville Riverside Hospital. Like, that is so amazing. Like, let's give it up for all our first African American women, and the first just to make this happen, to give other Black females that didn't think they had a chance, that they do have a chance. And I'm not sure if it's taught in schools, because I'm not in school anymore, but like, I think we need to start reverting back to who was before this person, who did this before this person. Like, I just This is just so amazing to me. This is like phenomenal. So that concludes my Black History Fun Facts for today, Saturday, February 28th. And I want to take a moment to thank everybody that's tuning in. Thank you for watching and spending your time with me. Why not? Like, what else would you rather be doing? Duh. No, but thank you for spending your time with me, whether you're live or you're going to be tuning in later or just listening on your ride. I definitely appreciate the love. The support is definitely needed. I'm going to jump into some announcements that we have, and it's not a lot of announcements, but we're going to have more announcements coming because, as you all know, time is flying by. Like, so serious. Like, we got some exciting things coming up for Let's Talk Finance. So now, again, because time is flying, and I know maybe starting next week, I'm going to be doing that countdown for the returns that's going to be due March 15th, which is for corporations. And then right after that, we're going to do that countdown for the returns that's going to be due April 15th. Now, if you're typically not ready on either date, then we know you go out on an extension. However, please, 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 please do not wait. Get on your accountant's or tax preparer's schedule. Right now, my queue is at 25 and still coming. And I have people say, Shavonna, but it's just February. What happened? Because people listen when I say get on my calendar. People are now trying to book appointments with me now that have appointments that say, okay, Miss Shavonna, we got everything ready for 2025. Can I get on your schedule now for 2026? Absolutely, because I can see that calendar. Now, I don't know what God has in store for either of us, but I'm going to make sure you got a spot. Come on, let's lock that in right now. So it's so important. It's about planning. So get on your accountant's or your preparer's calendar. It's so important, especially with all the changes that's going on. If you have not created that IRS ID Me account, please do so. Let me tell you why. I never ever get into the facts about why this is so important. Now, last week I talked about red flags and how you get caught and why you get audited and how the IRS sees you based on the information that was entered. Next week, I'm going to have the opening date for the amended returns when we can start submitting those for 2025. But as of now, there's about 100 cases of amended returns that need to be submitted for 2025. Why is that? Because people are in such a rush to file, they miss documents. So if the IRS catches wave of that, they're going to send you a correspondence letter. And either they're going to be to make the adjustments or they're going to have you to respond to that letter. So the reason why this account is so important is because A, if you're on a payment plan, you can make a payment. If you're not on a payment plan and need to be on a payment plan, you can do so. You're able to review your wage income transcripts up to 7 years. And by June 15th, let's say you're not one that files out before April 15th. So by June 15th, and they've already started uploading transcripts for 2025. If you go pull your transcripts, you will see what is attached to your name and your social. A lot of things that people are trying to do when it comes to the federal government will have to go through IRS ID Me. So it's very important. It takes about 13 minutes to set that account up. If you already have your copy of your driver's license or ID back in front, stored in your phone, take away 3 minutes. Now you got 10 minutes to set that account up. I promise you it's going to be so valuable. Also, if you're one that receives an identity protection PIN number, let's say you've never received one and you may have one now, just because you were chosen or something happened to you in the past, that letter will be on that account. So please create that account. If you're unaware, get with your accountant or your preparer. They'll send you out that information and you will be set to go. public service announcement, all anointed accounting clients know that they better have their IRS ID me and state of account open. If not, they will be on punishment. They will have to stand in the corner and they cannot go outside and play for recess. Now, also, if you are in that batch that receives earned income credit, child tax credit, those checks, start looking for those by March the 4th. And I don't mean literal checks, I mean deposited into your accounts. So that concludes my updates for today and the importance of them. We're still in February, so if you are celebrating your birthday, please continue to celebrate with grace, in decency, and in order. Know that it is good to have birthday cake because I like birthday cake. Whipped cream icing, no icing, yo icing, they icing, it don't even matter. Birthday cake is birthday cake, long as it's a good cake. If you have not done so already, please like, love, share the content, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Day in and day out, I get so many questions about a W-2 employee, a 1099 employee. What are my write-offs? What are my deductions? What is the actual deduction for this status or that status? How do I fill out a W-4? What is my state withholding and inflation rate? All of these questions come about. And guess what? I've talked about all of this on a show or two. So please subscribe to that YouTube channel. And you don't have to sit and physically watch the show. You could be cleaning up listening. My mouth is big enough, you can hear it a block away if you turn the knob up. So you will not miss anything. So it's very important that you go collect as much information as you can, because that's going to be so beneficial to you. A lot of things have changed over the year. So when you go and you sit with your preparer, let's just say you started school, you got married, you have a new addition to the family, you purchased the house, you purchased the vehicle. A lot of changes can come about. So please get on your preparer's calendar for those reasons. Also, that's been said on the show, and that's why I asked you to subscribe to that YouTube channel. If there's some topics that you would like us to talk more about and go more in depth on, please send us that information. That's why we ask for you to comment. That's why we ask for you to like the information, because we know that it's getting to someone. Share the content. You don't know who needs the information. People are only going to tell you as much as they want to tell you. They're not going to give you the nitty gritty all at once or at all. But just by referring them to some resourceful information, you just never know who you're going to help, okay? I appreciate it. Know that I appreciate it, okay? Me, your girl. Why not? Okay, so now it's Saturday. Y'all chilling here with me. So welcome to Let's Talk Finance Podcast. Yay! And if this is your first time joining us, welcome to the family. And yes, this is family because we all learn from one another. We help one another. There is no judgment. We all learn on different levels. And we are here to meet you exactly where you are. Period, point blank, no questions asked. And what do I mean by that? Here on Let's Talk Finance Podcast, we break down your finances, both business and individual, with clarity, with faith, and empowerment. Because understanding your money isn't just about the numbers. It's about the confidence, the alignment, and your purpose. And I'm going to also add something else to that. If your finances are not where they need to be, you are mentally not in the right space because your money ain't right. So now you're thinking about how I got to do this, how I got to do this, what can I do to do this? So it's best to have that good foundation. Where do you get that foundation from? Right here on Let's Talk Finance. So, I got a question for y'all. I'm going to do something different today. I got a question for y'all. So, smiley faces. We're going to do smiley faces. I want y'all to drop smiley faces in the comments for this, right? Who felt like a responsible adult when they filed their taxes? Who felt responsible? And what I mean by that is, were you really ready? Or did you just say, here's my documents? Or did you say, here's my documents. I still got more coming. I don't want to lose this. So I want you to hold on to this, because every year something happens. So who felt like a responsible adult when they filed their taxes? And the next question is, be honest, if you didn't file your taxes, and let's just say you hired on a team or someone else, when you were told that your taxes were going to be submitted, how did that make you feel? Like, was it a sigh of relief? Was it, I hope I did the right thing, I hope I didn't mess up, but oh well, it's off my back? So a show of smiley faces, or just answer the question however you see fit to do it. If you have not filed yet, what that tells me is that you're not ready, and you intend to file an extension so you can be ready by September 15th or by October 15th. Now, let's jump into why I asked those questions. Today's conversation is going to be about confidence when you're filing your tax return. Not only do you got to have confidence, but you got to have clarity, and you have to have control. You have to know what sits on your tax return, right? Because you have to know what's attached to you. Now, filing your taxes isn't the finale. That's not the final step in that. Trust me, it's other stuff that comes behind that, right? So look at filing your taxes as like a season premiere. Like, this is just going to happen, right? And what you do next will determine if the progress is successful or if it's not successful. Let's jump in. What do I mean by that? Right? So we in February. We already know we finna be in March. Once March 31st gets here, we're done with the first quarter of 2026. So why not let's start now? Okay? The final February tax checklist. Everybody should have this. And if you don't have one, no problem. It's okay. When you know better, you do better. So if you start now, you're a jump start ahead of somebody and something else. And guess what? You can share your experience with somebody. Hey, guess what? Did you know about this checklist? This really helped me when it came to filing my taxes. No, I'm not just talking to business owners. I'm talking to individuals, civilians, taxpayers. I'm talking to everybody that filed a tax return. Trust me, this helps. Now, it's a lot of people, when you think of a checklist and you think of tax time, it's dreadful. It's draining. I had one customer tell me, Shavonna, I'd rather go to the dentist and let them pull my teeth than to do taxes. Like, I just really hate this time of the year. And, after working with this individual a couple years, like, I think I get more phone calls from this couple than anybody, because they will call me and say, okay, Shavonna, this happened. I'm telling you because I know I'm going to forget. So I'm telling you, so when I come file next year and I don't have everything, you can remind me. And I appreciate that. I totally appreciate that, because those are those check-ins. So with those check-ins come checklists. And with the checklist, the first thing you want to know is, what do you need to submit and when do you need to submit it by? So if you're a corporation, your corporation return is due by March 15th. If you're not ready to go out by March 15th, that means Form 7004, which is your extension form, needs to be filed. If your tax return is due April 15th and you're not ready, that means that your extension 4868 needs to be submitted by April 15th. Now, that comes with tax returns. When are your tax returns due? March and April. If not March and April, you have September and October. Now, if you're not on a calendar year and you're on a fiscal year, your return due date is going to be due on a different month. So that's why it's best to get with your preparer to figure that out. If you run payroll, when are your payroll reports due? What reports are due? A lot of people, they just think annually, but your payroll reports are due quarterly. And that's not just to the federal and the state, that's also to unemployment. Now, if you choose to pay your annual tax every quarter to be a step ahead of the game, you can do so. But know that those 941 reports are due every quarter. Now, when IRS filing and e-filing is good, and of course, the cutoff time is typically November 1st. So let's just say you missed that extension and you want to come in after October 15th, you can. However, from that time span, you will not be able to electronically file your tax return. At that point, you're going to have to mail those documents in. Come April 15th of this year, that is the last day you will have to amend your 2022 tax return, whether it's business or personal. What do I mean by that? If you're due a refund, the last day to do that and have it submitted is April 15th. Let's just say you're not due a refund and you submit your taxes. If there's a balance owed, you're expected to pay that balance. So that's why it's important to know how your filing goes. Not only that, you want to have that reassurance, meaning that it's not too late and action is needed. So if you get that correspondence letter or something seems fishy and just not sitting right with you within and you're looking at your tax documents, it's time to make that phone call to your accountant or your preparer. Don't let stress deter you from doing what you have to do. Again, people think tax time, people think IRS, people think state entities, and they go into a frenzy and they panic. Don't panic. The IRS wants to help you because they want you to help them. The more information you send, the more detailed you are, the more in compliance you are one less person they have to be concerned about. Remember to gather all your documents now. There's no need to wait. As you see, it's already March. It's no time to waste, okay? I'm going to stop right here and acknowledge my guest. Hey, sister. Hey, Deacon McMorris. Call me Mac. Mike. That's Mike. Okay. Hey, call me Mike. Hey, sis. Hey, Joy. Thank everybody for tuning in. If I did not say your name, I apologize. That means I don't see it, but I still got mad love for you. Drop a comment in. Let me know you here, and I promise you I'll acknowledge you. I just love acknowledging my people. Now, back to missing documents, right? It's time to be organized. And when you're organized, you're more intentional about what happens. You're not running from place to place and swiveling around like what's going on because you're organized. You have it. Again, I spoke about this last week. Now, when it comes to paper documents, I'm organized to the T. I will go find it in a heartbeat. You need something from 12 years ago? Let me go find it in this purple box in storage that's labeled this, and I'm going to get it for you. Now, you ask me for that digitally, I'm going to need about 6 months to get it to you because I ain't organized that way. I'm just not a digital person. I'm a paper person. I push paper. But everybody has their own specialties. So, hey, whatever floats your boat, that's what I say do. Just be intentional about it, okay? Now, what do you do if you owe taxes? This is a big one. And again, I always say it's never important until it's important. People never ever question their returns unless the refund is not like they expect it to be or they owe money. when in all actuality, the process starts before then. It starts when you fill out that W-4 and that state form. So if you're in the state of Indiana, that's IT-40. If you're in Illinois, that's ILW-4. So it starts on those documents. And if those documents are not filled out correctly, then of course it's going to be a domino effect, right? However, if you do owe taxes, there are options available for you. You do not have to be worried or try to run from Uncle Sam, because guess what? We think Job got patience in the Bible. Uncle Sam got real good patience, because there is no statute of limitation. So they can come back and collect their money. And if you don't be nice and participate because you have a social, here comes levies, here comes garnishments. Nobody wants that. So it's no need to run. We just got to cooperate. The first thing is you can get on a payment plan. You can start that yourself. It's Form 9465. If you're unfamiliar with that, get with your accountant or your preparer. Now, I hear a lot of people call and say, okay, Shavonna, the IRS said that I can wipe away all this debt. There's forgiveness. Nope, let me stop you right there. Wait, water time. I talk to the IRS at least 4 times a week during tax time. That's January through October. I talk to them at least 4 times a week. Every representative I have spoke to has confirmed there is no IRS forgiveness program. What they offer is offer and compromises, which is Form 433A and B. One is for individuals, one is for businesses. One of 3 things can happen if you're on an offer and compromise. Whatever your balance is, let's just assume your balance is $10,000. They may say, okay, if your balance is $10,000, you pay us $7,000. However, moving forward, every year, your tax return has to be filed on time. And if there's a balance, that balance needs to be paid. That's the first option. The second option is that payment plan. And you get on the payment plan and you make your monthly payments. That third option is if they deem you uncollectible, you will be put in an uncollectible status. And every year, you would have to submit a financial analysis to see has there been a change. Those are the 3 options that they have. They also have the IRS penalty and abatement. That is a process to get those fees removed, which means there better be a good reason along with documentation why they're going to be removing those fees. That is a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So not only is it a lengthy process, it's a tedious process, and it's a costly process because you want it done right. Now, again, I talked about this a few minutes ago. File extensions when necessary. Like if you know for a fact that you're not going to be ready, file your extension. You can do it electronically if you want to do it on your own. You can mail it in. If you have an accountant or a tax preparer and they are familiar with how you operate, they're going to know what actions to take. I know which clients of mine will be ready to leave March 15th and April 15th. I know who's going to leave September 15th and October 15th. I already know because I know my clients. Now, I do have some clients that tell me every year, you know what, Shavonna, I ain't going to do no extension. I promise I'm going to be better. And I'm waiting on it. It's coming. I got faith. I got faith. It hasn't happened yet, but I haven't won the lottery either. So, hey, we're just going to keep hope alive. Again, if you're an individual and you're filing out on Form 1040, even if you have a business connected to you and it's your LLC, all of the information transfers to the 1040 unless you have opted out and have been selected and approved to file out as an S corp, which means you could elect to file out as an S corporation. You're going to get a Schedule K1. All of that is going to get applied to your 1040. That means you're going to submit individual extension form 4868. If you are a business, you are going to submit form 7004. Okay? You can do that on your own, or again, your accountant or your tax preparer could do that for you. Now, this is the time where a lot of people like to contact the IRS, right? Not saying that you do want to do it, but your back is against the door. You have to contact them for some particular reason. As I like to tell people, make sure your phone is charged. You will be on hold between 3 to 6 hours, depending on the time you call. If you have to get transferred, or even before you get transferred, there's a chance that you may get hung up on, and you may have to call back and do it all over again. You got to have that patience. Trust me. And what will happen is if you call in frustrated and you try to take your anger out on that representative, they will discontinue the call. So please be mindful of that when you're communicating with the IRS. Although you may disagree with them or may not like them, when you're talking to them, they become your best friend. Because at this point, you need them. So let's make that happen. Now, be prepared, meaning this is a part of your checklist. Your extension, what form you file on. Are you organized with your documents and your receipts? Do you have everything together? This is a process. Start getting it together now. So if you haven't made that appointment and you're going on an extension, you already know what to have ready for your accountant or your preparer. Letters and source documents. That means any correspondence from any federal or state entities that you have not addressed, meaning you haven't even opened the letter, meaning your accountant or your preparer don't even know about it. So stop waiting. Let's jump on the bandwagon. Let's get this resolved, because as we see, time waits on no one. So let's be a step ahead of the game, people, please. Let's work with them so they can work with us. You also want to have copies of your tax returns. People, please, if not on your laptop or your computer, if not in the cloud somewhere, if a hard drive, especially in your email, you need to create a folder that's labeled tax returns. So anytime you have a copy of your tax return, you can go right to that folder and pull it if you need to pull it. But please have a copy. Time and time again, I run into too many individuals who say, well, I don't have a copy. How do I get a copy? Or it was never given to me. Or I didn't know how to download it. Or, what that means. That's what I run into all the time. We have to be more responsible. We have to act like we care, because it's about us. It's our social that's on there. Now, when it becomes important to you and you need it instantaneously, now you want to make phone calls and you want your account to stop, drop, and give you what you need right then and there, when in all actuality, had you created this folder or even went through your email, you would have it. So it's so very, very important to save copies of your tax returns. We can do comparisons with that. I love to do comparisons. I like to let my clients know what happened in prior year to where you are now. If there's a difference, if it's a good or bad difference, are you plateauing? What's going on? Can we control the situation? Whatever that situation may be. So it's so important that you have copies of your tax returns. Again, your tax returns tell a financial story about you. Now, there's also tax resolutions that you can consider if that bill is enormous. I know I talked about the offer and compromise, and I talked about the payment plans. So here's what I want you to take into account. If you owe, and it's not to say that you owe on purpose. Let's just say you had a hike in your income. Let's just say you got a bonus. Let's just say the obvious. You were just unaware of how to file or what your status should be or how to even look for the information. That's okay. So, owing taxes is a situation. It's not a failure. So just because you owe, that doesn't mean you failed at anything. It's just a tax situation. Now that you're aware of the situation, you have to now get it under control. And then you take ownership of that situation. Now, tax resolutions and payment plans set up assistance that gives you more room to breathe. It's more easy because now it's like, okay, look, I know I got a payment plan. I know I owe the Internal Revenue Service. This is how much I'm gonna be paying them because of this. Now, because I don't want this to happen to me next time, I'm going to redo my W-4 and have more withholdings come out. Or better yet, maybe I can't afford that every pay period. So I'm gonna just put something to the side. And at the end of at the end of quarter one, I'm going to make my estimated tax payment, because when I file next year, I don't want an astronomical amount to be owed to either the federal or the state entity. I want to have control over that situation. Okay? That's what I mean by having control. Now, here is a ultimate plus to that. When you file early, that means that you have financial clarity. That means that throughout the year, you've had those check-ins, you've did those self-checklists, you've been responsible and got on your accountant and preparer's calendar. You've just been organized and you've been more intentional than what you were previously. So now you're in that bunch when you say, hey, I want to file before March or April 15th. You can do that because you've taken the necessary steps. And I tell you, when you do that and you hand those documents off, right there is a sigh of relief. The other night, I had a consultation with one of my clients, and he said, hey, I know you need this, Miss Shavonna. I know you need this. Wait, what else do I need? And we were going through the documents, and I was expressing to him what he needs. When we got done, he said, whoo, I'm so glad I ain't got to worry about this no more. Till next year, it's all on you now, Miss Shavonna. You got everything. But just that sigh of relief feels so good. Period. And that's a good feeling to have. So, your confidence kicks in when you file early, and it also gives you clarity. With clarity, what do you get? A peace of mind. You're not stressed. You're not under pressure. You're not worried. It gives you insight on the position that you're in. How do I tackle this? How do I handle this situation? How do I face this situation? Another question people ask is, how do I trust somebody? And that's a hard, very hard, difficult question. And what I say is, do your research. Do your research on the individual. If, again, I'm going to hurt some feelings, if we can sit on social media and we can look at gossip and we can go talk to the neighbor about what happened, we can take that same time and energy and put it into ourselves. We must. We have to. We need to. We have to do better because, again, we don't want this on us. We want to be stress-free. Now, the benefits to that when you file early is refund timing. Who don't want a refund? Everybody wants a refund. So by you filing early, You're getting a step ahead of the game. Just like this year, our e-file date was January 26th. Can you imagine how many people was in that first batch just going out? And I'm not talking about the people I had in queue to go out. It's me and a million more other people. So that first batch that hit them January 26th, that was a lot of work. And then the batches just keep coming. They don't stop. They continuously come. So if you get in early and you get out early, you're a step ahead of the game. Your cash flow visibility. You get to see where you are. On the operational side, you get to see and know where you are. You see your numbers. That means that budget that you had in place is working. That means that goal that you set for financial freedom is coming. That means you're going to celebrate that small and that big win, period, because it's you. You did it. You took the time. You took the energy. You put all of this into it, so you're going to make it work. That's that control. And with that control, you now have confidence in doing and moving how you see fit. And it's nothing wrong with that. Quarterly and semi-annual meetings. Those are meetings that you have with your team, with your staff, with your spouse. You check in with your accountant or your tax preparer. Hey, look, this is what's going on financially. Even if it's, hey, Shavonna, look, I went exempt the first 5 months of the year. Look, I just didn't have it. My son went to school. My daughter broke her foot. My wife not working. That little extra money I needed. However, is it a way around this? Things are looking a lot better financially. What can I do? Those are conversations that need to be had then versus waiting until you file and now you have a big amount due and you're upset. And no, you can't backdate it. So what happened in 2025, that happened in 2025. You could only correct moving forward. So if you haven't made those changes on your W-4s and your state W-4s, it's time to go and do that now. Now, you have to understand your tax position sooner, meaning what is your inflation rate? How much taxes do you need to pay? This is released between October and December of every year. Have you done your due diligence to look at this information on the IRS website? And if you haven't, have you contacted your preparer or accountant? Because trust me, they've done it. They know about it. And then they could better instruct you. Now, you have those self-checks and evaluations. I talked about that last week. When you sit down and you look at your self-check-in, that's important. What is my finances looking like? Do I got copies of my tax returns? Do I got a receipt for this purchase? Did I make sure I could depreciate it? Is it an asset? Is it tangible or intangible? Are you asking yourself these questions? Did you follow up on your accounts payable and your accounts receivable? What's out there? Do you know if you have a profit or a loss, or are you plateau? Whether you're a business or personal, do you know how your finances look? And if not, that's a problem. Set the appointment with your accountant or your tax preparer. This is what helps you. This is where that control and that confidence comes in for you having your finances aligned. I'm going to take a moment now and I'm going to stop and acknowledge all my guests that's on. To everyone that's tuning in now, thank you. Oh, my brother on here. What up, Big V? Woo, woo. Hey, love you too, baby. And anybody else that's watching, if I did not see your name, thank you for tuning in, kicking it with your girl, me. But where else would you rather be when we talking about money? Who don't want to hear about money? So, right now, if you are already a client of Anointed Accounting, if you share this content today, screenshot it, send me an email, I'm going to give you 10% off your service, whichever service that is. If you are new to Let's Talk Finance and you're coming over to Anointed Accounting for services, Share this content and screenshot it. Email me. You're going to get 20% off your service. Ha, I like that. That's nice. Yay. Now, back to those self-checks and evaluations. Those are so important. And don't just do it for tax time. Do it to know where you stand financially. If you find yourself having those conversations, man, I don't see where all my money going. Man, I don't see it. Where this money is at. Like, man, everything went up. Yeah, everything has went up. The pay has not increased though. So what are we doing with our finances? That's why I say these conversations are intimate between you and your preparer. These are pillow talks that you and either your best friend or your spouse have, especially if you're commingling funds in a household, meaning you're putting them together. And a lot of people say, well, oh, I don't make no money. I think my W-2 is wrong. Well, why did you wait till the end of the year to say something? Why were you not looking at your check stub every pay period? Why? I got the answer. Because we're so used to receiving direct deposit. Long as that direct deposit hit, we don't care how that check stub look. I'm here to tell you, I look at my check stub all the time. If it's a penny off and I done the math, I'm setting up a meeting with HR somewhere. Somebody gonna talk to me. I need to know why this is this. Because I accounted for that 1 penny. Yep, I'm petty. I don't care. I need it. It's mine. I work for it. And you should be the same way. Cakes, baby Abby, I see you. Hey. So that's why it's so important. And that's why I continuously tell my listeners, my clients, please be nosy about you. It is okay to be nosy about you. Know what's on your social. Know what's attached to your name. Please know that. Know the importance of it. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't. Please have those consultations. I know we are so used to it. Even me, when it comes to my accountant, I'll send her a text message. Hey, Miss Piper, I sent my email over. And then I'll sit back and be like, that ain't gonna work. Here go this email. Hey, Miss Piper, how you doing? What is your availability to get on your schedule for a consultation? Because believe it or not, some things did happen in 2025 that you need to be aware of, and vice versa. Like, we have those conversations, and those are important. That's how I'm able to know where I am and how I stand. And we all need to know this, not just on the business side, but also personally, because this affects you. You get bonuses, you get raises, you get per diems. Everything comes with that, depending on the field that you in. You need to know how this affects your finances, and or if this is going to affect your tax situation. This is so very, very important. So yes, be nosy about you. Now, those checklists and reviews, after you done reviewed that checklist, and okay, this is not your area of expertise, that's when you make that phone call and say, hey, look, I think I did this right, but yeah, okay. Like me, I know how to make gumbo, but my sister made some gumbo on Christmas and I ain't never had it like that. So now I got to call her every time I want gumbo because I want her recipe. I'm checking in. It's nothing wrong with that. My brother made some tacos 19 and a half years ago that was so amazing. Yes, and I still remember those tacos, and I'm still waiting on them. Can I make tacos? Yes, but I can't make them like him. So you see the point? You check in, and it's okay to check in. Now, early financial planning. Get those sessions. It's important. And I think we're going to be rolling some exciting sessions out this spring. We're going to have some polls on here for Let's Talk Finance. We're going to get all of you all more involved. And you guys already are involved because, again, this is where we find clarity. We break down things with faith and empowerment. And we want you to have confidence in what you're doing about your finances. Didn't say you needed to be an expert, but you have confidence in it. Like, Somebody showed me how to thread a needle. I am positive that I know how to thread that needle. I can get it in the smallest hole. Now, that don't mean I can sew the button on the shirt, but I can get the thread through the needle. I know how to do that. I'm confident. So it's one step at a time, and it's okay. Now, you have to know your numbers. You have to. Preparing for your March cash flow forecast. Prepare for that forecast. Look at that budget. Review those accounts payables and accounts receivables. Look at the income and expenses. Plan for the upcoming bills. Plan for the obligations. Make sure you're ready to send all of that out. I dedicate one whole day to sitting here paying bills. That's personal bills and business bills. I got a digital copy. I don't work it that much, but I got one. But my paper copy, oh my God, I got a book and I know what stuff is at. And when I'm done paying all those bills, I feel such a relief because that's off of me. I've done my due diligence. Now, with that comes obligations, which means we're still in that first quarter of 2026, and we're going to be entering that second quarter. Are we ready? Do we have our finances aligned? Do we have our front end offices set up? Is our checking account set up? Have we stopped commingling funds? Have we stopped making the bank rich by giving them NSF fees? What are we doing to control our tax situation? Have we updated our forms when it comes to work so it isn't a domino effect or a deficit at the end of the year? Have we made those appointments and those check-ins? That's where your obligations come in. Have we viewed that budget and said, hey, we're on target? We're actually below our budget, which is good. So that's a win. Celebrate that win. That's what that means by going into March with your forecast. This time is the time to start, especially if you're thinking about doing an extension. Okay? Now, we got post-filing checklists. And what do I mean by post-filing? Oh, let me look. I'm sorry, I didn't talk too much. We got 3 minutes left. I know I'm not going to get through it in 3 minutes. So if you have to leave, I understand. But this is important information, so I'm going to keep going. It's going to go over that 4:15 time. I will make it up to you if I have to deduct time off another show. But when it comes to that post-filing checklist, you have a reviewing return for accuracy. That means when your return is done, whether you're getting a refund or not, go over your tax return. If your preparer cannot go over that return to you and answer your questions, you need to pick up your documents and walk out the office. Because, see, you're more than just a dollar. Because if something happens, now you're going to want questions answered. And if they can't answer those questions, then now that's a problem. So you have to have that level of confidence with that person and have that accuracy. You have to keep your documentation secure. Is it put away? Is it locked away in the file? Is it secure where can't nobody get it? Is it password protected? When you're sending this information, is it password protected or encrypted? That's important because your social, your name, address, everything is on these documents. Document retention and digital archive setup. That is so important for those of you who are digitally loving and kind and can do all of this phenomenal stuff in the digital world. I know your accounts are active and how they're supposed to look. They're password protected. They may even be encrypted. You know where every file is at. You have everything together. Just like you have that ready on the digital side, I have that ready on the paper side. But we're ready and it's secure. It's like going through Fort Knox when you want to get something to mine. Because it's going to be locked. Then it's going to be a password. Then you're going to need a password to get past that password. And then you're going to need a code. And sometimes I even forget where I sent the code. So I bet not forget what I did with it. So yeah, that extra security, hey, level up. It's okay. You may not think you're on that level, but I think you're on that level. So just add the necessary steps to securing those documents. Now, also what comes along with your checklist is you want to check to make sure all your documents have been submitted. Time and time again, I've seen when new clients have came and said, well, I found my tax return, but when we open up that IRS account, there's no tax return on file. Well, they told me they found, do you have your submission number? Can you call and get a copy of your submission? And if so, that's our ammunition. We can take that to the IRS. Look, this was filed. Why is this happening to this client? Let's fix this. But you got to have something to take to them. And if you haven't done your due diligence, then how would you know? That's why it's important. Now, you have to secure your records, even the old records. They say 7 years. I say indefinite, because you want to know if something ever comes about, you want to be ready. Because again, there is no statute of limitations with the IRS. It's not. It's a statute of limitation when they're going to give you money, which is 3 years. So if you're amending tax year 2022 and you're expecting a refund, you got to April 15th. After April 15th, you can send that amended return in, but you're not going to get that refund because that 3 years has expired. So now what you also want to do is you want to monitor your documents. What do I mean by monitor your documents? Make sure that this document goes to this individual and is for this vendor or this person. Try not to mix those documents up. Even if you're dealing with a married couple, they have the taxpayer and they have the spouse. That's how it's divided. Make sure you have control over those documents. If you're a 1099, if you're a K1, make sure you have all of the necessary receipts that align with those documents. If you've made any payments, confirm that the payments were received. Print the receipts. That's important. If you don't print the receipts, let's say they come back and say, well, oh, you didn't make this payment, and where's your ammunition? Where's your proof at? You don't have it. Why you don't have it? Because you don't have the receipt. Why you don't have it? Because you didn't take a picture of it. So a lot of the blame will fall on you. You don't want that to happen. You want to be more intentional. So now this is where your organizational skills kick in at. You want to update your information when it changes. So if you move January 1st and you still have not updated your information, shame on you. Update your information. And that's not just with the federal and state entities, that's across the board, because people do still mail documents out. They will use the last known address on file. If it's unable to reach you, you will never know. You could be chosen to win $1 billion if you smile and eat a banana, but you will never know because can't nobody get in touch with you. No, we got to be more intentional about updating our information, identifying errors. If you're feeling insecure of an error or something that's going on, talk to your accountant or your preparer. They'll be able to break down that information for you. And even though you're planning now, it's okay to plan for next year. Get on board. Now is the time to start planning for next year. As you see, tomorrow is March 1st, people. March. When we look up, it's going to be September. So why not plan now, especially if you're on board? So I think we have a question. Let me acknowledge the question. Abby K said, this is so true. The IRS put a letter on my bank account yesterday. Oh, wow. Wow. They put a levy on your account after you already paid in November. You know what, Abby K? What I'm going to tell you is get on your accountant's calendar and y'all need to have a conversation. See, when things like this start happening, you don't wait till it happened to talk to them. unless you had no prior control over it. At this point, get on your calendar so you can see why these people are taking your money. If you're at a zero balance and they're taking your money, why? Because if somebody came up off the street and tried to rob you, you're going to kick, scream, fight, holler, and hold all your possessions. Let's take that same energy and find out why they're taking your hard-earned money. That's important. So I suggest you talk to your accountant or your preparer. And that's for anybody that's out there that's getting levied and getting garnished. Don't think that it can't happen to you, because it can. And Abby, I thank you for being very transparent on this virtual forum here that we have. Not too many people would have opened up to that. And I thank you and appreciate you for that. But that tells me that she has some type of ownership. And she knows that the IRS don't play. Now, what she's going to do is get on the bandwagon and find out why. Because the amount of money they kick, I don't care if they took $1. It was mine. I worked for it and I didn't want to give it to you. Give me my dollar. Period. So I understand. Yes, the IRS said that they didn't see it in the reporting period. Wow. So see, yeah, that's a phone call that has to be placed to the IRS between you and your accountant. And I always say involve your accountant, because there may be other terms or other probing questions that can be asked that you are unfamiliar with, to try to bring out more answers from that representative. So yes, I suggest you to do that. In closing, I got some key points for you all. I got 5 key points. And again, thank y'all for staying over with me. I truly, truly appreciate it. But the first point that I want to make is filing your taxes is not the end. Okay? What it does is it's the moment where your clarity begins. Because once you see that tax return, once you understand the tax return and the importance of it and what goes on it, you better understand your finances and how to move. Owing taxes is a situation to manage, not a mistake to be ashamed of. A lot of Americans owe taxes, and it's okay. And what I will tell people is, even if you didn't have enough withheld and you're paying those taxes back, you are being diligent about your tax situation. On the other hand, if you're a 1099 employee and you're paying those taxes back, those are not just taxes. You're paying into your Social Security and your Medicare, because no one is matching your income but you. So pay that money in, so when you do retire, you have something to collect on. So don't be ashamed if you owe taxes. Filing early gives you control by revealing the full picture of your finances. I don't want to see a half of a picture. I need the whole picture. I need to understand what's going on. So if you got to talk to me 3 and 4 times, hey, if I feel like I don't understand and I feel like this too much for you, let me speak to somebody else who got patience, because clearly I don't understand what you're saying, or you're not breaking it down enough, or there's a fundamental issue. One of the 3. So neither one of us get frustrated. Just let me speak to someone else. And you have that right to do that, because it's about you. Okay? Now, post-filing planning, which meaning you post-file your tax return, you get to make cash flow decisions early, like how your cash is going to move for you, what it's going to do for you, etc. And secure your documents and organize your records. That is so important, because once you have everything secured, you're okay. Like my best friend talk about me until this day. 2 years ago, I wanted my company binder together, and papers was just, they were at a disarray. Like I just could not function right. And the time that I had to take to get my binder how it was supposed to be would have took the average person about 3 to 6 months to do it. I did that in 2 days. I was determined. I needed that done. It had to be done. And when it was done, it felt like a weight had lifted off me. I was able to sleep better because I knew that I had it. I just needed to put it where it needed to be put. And so it's okay. Sometimes we fall off the bandwagon, but we got to get back on it, okay? So, in closing, filing your taxes isn't just about compliance, okay? It's about confidence, it's about clarity, and it's about taking ownership of your financial story. This is your story. It's about you. You get to be the star player in this story. It's yours. When you understand what you filed, when you know your options, when you are ready to start planning ahead and planning for the next move and planning your next steps, you're able to move from reaching a tax season to now entering into financial intentional season. And what that means is that you're more intentional about what's going on. You're ready to take on whatever. Now, let this be the year 2026. You stop guessing and start deciding, because smart taxpayers don't just file their taxes and forget that they didn't file. They review, they plan, and they move forward, and they're empowered. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in and staying late with me. I would like for you all to comment, love, and share the content. Again, if you are a current customer of Anointed Accounting and you share this content, take a picture of it, send me an email. You're going to get 10% off your services. If you are a new client and you share this content, take a picture and send it. You will get 20% off your service. If you're just a supporter and you love me and you like the information that's being delivered, please just share the content and we'll put something together for you, because I don't want to leave you out. I am on all social media platforms under Anointed Accounting, which is ANOINTEDACCOUNTING. I am at www.ANOINTEDACCOUNTING.com. I am at 312-837-7219. And I am at youtube.com at Anointed Accounting. Listen, people, I love y'all. I want y'all to have a phenomenal upcoming week. I want y'all to get y'all finances in order. And I want y'all to be great at this, because I'm telling you, knowing where your finances at will relieve a lot of stress. So until next time, I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to stay grateful. And I want you to keep walking in purpose. I love you, and I will see you all next Saturday. Peace.